I mean,
I have no pants on. Yeah, that's why I bring it up. I am pantsless.
that's amazing. So let's just get to the meat of the matter. I mean, on the new song Mayday, you've got both of the singers of the band. How do you get that to come together? Because I thought the whole thing was pretty acrimonious, and the new song is amazing.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, it's been, well, first of all, it's been a lot of chapters in the history of 3 Days Grace, and I
Hmm.
appreciate people like you to support us all the way along and stuff. We're very grateful to be at this point in our career and have this on the horizon that people are super excited about. It adds a whole new dimension to 3 Days Grace, and it started just kind of in talks, and we were like, hey Adam, why don't you get up on stage and like do a song with us on tour? And so he did that. And the fan reaction was just insane, and
Yeah.
we've always considered this thing about like just chapters with a bunch of twists and turns, and life is kind of like that too, right? Where
Right.
so it was like, imagine, so we put the music first before we really, knew that, that it was going to be a go. We all got together at our guitar player Barry's house, who has a beautiful countryside property, and with a studio. And so the five of us got together and just started kind of back at the very roots with acoustic guitars
Whoa.
and just getting creative, and then songs started coming out like right away, and new ideas, and it just felt like we hadn't skipped a beat in a long time. I mean, Adam and I have been in the band since we were 14 years old, and so to have it come around and be it happening at this scale is we feel pretty, we've a lot of gratitude.
Nice, man. I could say listening to the new song, um, I don't know how the right way to put it, so I'll just tell you how I took it. Man, it feels like a band where they're experiencing everything they ever did all at once again for the first time. Like part of the guitar riff, I'm like, oh, that's Animal I Became, not exactly. I kind of love like the different sort of almost like pop feel to the song. I swear to God, there was this one little squeal in there. I thought that sounded like Britney Spears. It sounds like such a new style of music for you guys. Like, how did the writing come together on this? Because the song's
Um,
great.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, we worked with some new people. We
Mm,
worked with Zach Cervini and Dan Lancaster and Howard Benson on this, which, are three incredibly acclaimed producers in their own right. But we really, our part with being in the band was to kind of deliver, the 3 Days Grace that people have attached themselves to, which is
sure.
making a deep connection in the lyrical content, and
Yeah.
really us kind of going back to the drawing board, writing about really kind of just stuff that reflects in our own lives and our own mental cinema, and then putting that out into songs and having people relate to that is so powerful. That's been the connection with 3 Days Grace and our fans all along. So it was important to us to keep that going and be true to ourselves and be the real deal. And but sonically, yeah, we've been pushed to, just to like kind of do stuff that we might not normally do. I mean, our first record came out 22 years ago, so it's like, um it's kind of a fine mash of like, being able to, kind of explore new sounds and new ways of approaching it, but still the nucleus of the song is still exactly what 3 Days Grace started when we were teenagers.
Yeah, I will say that mental cinema is a great term of art. I really, really like that one, man, because it really captures the idea of like going on a cinematic musical journey with you guys. That's great.
Yeah,
So,
and mental cinema is kind of, oh, sorry, just to touch on your spot there. Mental cinema kind of just talks about like how, if we really think about it, most of the problems and obstacles that we're fearing only happen in our head.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like I gotta talk to the guy from 3 Days Grace today. What if I don't know? What if I forgot English? Like
Your
totally.
English is just fine.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Just I don't mean to like poke around the room you're in, but I'm going to poke around the room you're in. What are the stories with those guitars? Did you use them on any songs? I mean, are they just
Yeah,
like
this one here is actually a Hagstrom baritone. So
okay,
this is like a F cut, semi hollow body baritone guitar. So which gives you like, it allows you. It's just a bigger guitar, so it lets you get down into the deeper sort of like, you can drop this down to like drop B, or drop C and stuff. Um, and then this one, whoa! Before I wreck this one,
don't wreck it,
yeah, all of my stuff is dented, and like I'd rather it be covered in dents than dust.
dude.
Um,
Thank you. I mean, these ultimately they're tools. I mean, they're tools for making
yeah,
art,
man.
man.
Oh yeah. This one's a Martin from the '80s. This guitar is
Oh,
just like, man, it's like a guitar that's aged for like 40 years is like, just I don't know, it sounds different. It's like the wood is dried out and cured or something.
sure, sure. And have you used any of those instruments on any music people may have heard? I mean, like, oh, this is the guitar we did
Oh
this
yeah,
on.
man. That hollow body's been on the Hagstrom hollow body's been on a lot of stuff. It's just even that single string because it's a bigger guitar, it just gives you
Yeah.
that real bassy guitar note that you can layer in and make stuff thicker.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's great. Thanks for showing us around the room real quick. So when the tour actually happens, when is the tour going to start?
In late February, I believe it's February 20 something. Um, and yeah, it's it's a little we've got the record to finish and the tour show, the concert, the live stage to build and stuff. So when I look at all at once, it's a little daunting, but one day at a time. And this record's almost done. The plan for the show is coming together, all the new songs, and it's just a yeah, it's a bit of a calm before the storm right now.
Right.
But come February, up on the bus, pack your bags, take your library books back, and go. You
Oh,
know.
whoa. I've never been in a band. I don't really know what it's like to tour, but I imagine when putting together a stage show, it's a list longer than pyro check, more pyro check. Did we get the pyro? Check, check, and check. I
Yeah.
mean, what would be the most surprising thing you could share with a civilian about planning a tour? Like, what is the thing that no one thinks?
Well, when it comes to speaking of pyro, for the pyro
Yeah,
to
let's talk about
happen,
pyro.
every state and every province has a different set of legislation when it comes to allowing you to blow up fire on stage.
Oh, whoa.
So one piece of information people might not know is that like the fire chief or whoever's in charge of like making sure it's safe has to visit the venue every day before every show,
Oh, of course.
to
Yeah.
make sure that like you don't like burn the place down.
Right. Absolutely. Huh. All right. So tight logistical operations with the local constabulary. That makes sense. That makes
Safety
sense.
third. I mean, safety first, not third. Sorry.
Pyro and pyro and pyro. Let's just rattle off some song titles and just I'd like you to give me your flashbulb memories of where you were in your life when these various songs came out.
Sure.
We'll start with Animal I Have Become. What do you remember about that song?
I remember that Adam and I were sort of in the midst of ripping off the Beatles a little bit. Da-da-na-na-na.
Oh,
And
dude, I didn't. Yes, now I hear that. Now I hear that.
yeah, and I love her. So there's that, and we were on the back of the bus, and we were playing Germany, but we were on a European tour, and we kept leaving Germany and then coming back to Germany, leaving Germany and coming back to Germany, just the way the tour was routed. And
Mm,
we were working on the song. So the original title of this song is called German Return because we kept returning to Germany and we were working on the song
wow.
in the back of the bus when we kept doing that.
That's great. German Return sounds like it'd be something on a soundtrack, like a Bond
Yeah.
soundtrack. The German
Or
Return.
on a Ramstein album or something.
Oh, right. Everything. I hate everything about you.
Oh man, another one that was so that's like the song that kind of changed our lives. And I remember it was 4 o'clock in the morning. We were sitting in a studio in downtown Toronto, and the person that was really believing in us and helping us, build our dream, said, "Hey, I know that you guys have one more in you. I know that this song, most special song, is not written yet, and we just kind of like talked about what's the most direct thing you can say to somebody, like a dagger to the heart. And it's like, I hate
Mm.
you. Like, well, what? Let's expand on that. I hate everything about you. It's like, how do we bring back some sort of like love, hope? And it was like, well, you still love the person, but you want to know why. And then Adam walked into the booth and sang the chorus, and that was it. Everything changed that night.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. One last one. Never Too Late.
Never too late. Adam brought that song pretty well, like definitely more than half baked to the band, and so that was kind of his thing he brought. And when we heard it, we were like, "Wow, this is amazing." We brought kind of into the heavy and changed a little bit, but that song was just, soon as we heard it, we're like, "Oh man, this is going to be a special song for 3 Days Grace." So that was one of Adam's babies back in the day.
Nice, man. Nice. It's always good to look back at your stuff. And I cannot believe the first album was 22 years ago. Congratulations. I heard a quote from Bruce Springsteen about having a long and successful band the way you've had. He says it's hanging out with all your buddies from high school forever, which is both a curse and a blessing.
Yeah, it's like being married to three or four people at the same time too. You see the biggest thing you're gonna see when you spend that much time with anybody,
Yeah.
you're gonna see the best and the worst of everybody.
Mm.
And so it's about what your tolerance is or how you react to certain situations because you're
Oh,
gonna see
sure.
everyone at their best
Yeah.
and at their worst. And if you react to things that you don't need to, then it's not a good marriage, if you will. And it's the same thing for
Right.
bands. And you realize,
Right.
but you got to learn it along the way, and pick your battles and also be able to just drop the ego at the door and make it all about the song and the music and the experience and the live show. And that's only then can everyone has the same goal and you don't kind of have it blow up from the inside.
Right. Everything worth doing sometimes feels like work, but it also feels like an act of love, I think, at the same time.
Oh, absolutely, man. When you sit down and work, sometimes you don't feel well when you're working hard. Like something,
Mm.
in anything, like any work, it's like, the work itself is kind of mundane or tedious or boring or whatever that is. But man, and I try to tell my kids this, like, but when the work is done and you can look back and go, hey, look what we painted, or look what we made, or look what we did, that feeling is worth all of the work.
That's some pretty good life advice there, man. I really appreciate that. Upcoming tour, who are you going on the road with?
So we're doing about 12 shows with Disturbed, and
Oh,
that's going to
right
be
on.
great. It'll get us up and rolling. We haven't toured in a couple of years, and get up and running. It'll be in front of 12,000 people, and Disturbed
Mm.
will blow off 2,000 pounds of propane. I think they're doing right now in pyro. But so that's going to be great, and they're friends of ours. And then after that, a bunch of big festivals. We have great billing, some headline stuff, and then we're basically embarking on a great big 3 days Grace headline tour.
Great, man. I'm glad to hear it. Best of luck. The sort of cultural touchstone for me when it comes to this kind of thing would be Van Halen, how they did the David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar thing. But I think this is going to be so much cooler because I feel like your band still very much feels the love part of the work. But when Van Halen got to that part, not saying nothing, but it just feels like this feels different, and it is immensely evident in the song because the song, it feels like the band is invigorated. I mean, it sounds like Three
Yeah,
Days
man.
Grace, but it also sounds like a band that's really leaning back into their craft, dude. So I get best of luck. I wish you guys nothing but success in the future, and I'm looking forward to you guys rolling through and going on. And Disturb is always amazing. They are always so good every time they go
Oh yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. They're massive and great guys. Some of the nicest guys in the business. And yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess maybe I the Van Halen thing might have been like a one-off, but like Adam's back in our band now, so
Oh,
so
he's
we
back.
look
He's
at it like
back.
long game. Yeah, yeah.
Nice,
And
man.
it's just like the way that we look at it to be at this point in our career and been doing it for so long to have the fans and people like you that are just like really stoked about the future for us is like, well, you get to a point where you're like, man, how did I get here and why am I so lucky to be able to do this kind of thing?
Oh
Like it's like,
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's
Oh,
I'm in my
dude, yeah,
40s and
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I've been here at this radio station for 20 years, and any second I expect them to walk and be like, "What are you doing here?" I mean, like anytime I think the carpet's gonna come out underneath me
yeah,
every day.
yeah, no, it's just and it's an homage to our fans and like
Yeah.
they've been on this journey with us. I mean,
Oh,
it's been a
sure.
lot, it's been a road with a lot of twists and turns, but this music feels like kind of the coming togetherness of everything that we've built towards. And to be
Yes.
able to like pick
Yes.
away at it one song at a time is just like it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Dude,
fun.
dude, I'm excited for it. Well, February, hey, have a great holiday. I hope you guys have a great New Year's, great holidays, and we'll see you early next year then.
All right, brother. Okay,
Awesome, Neil.
man.
Thank you. You have a
Take
great
care,
day.
brother. See you, man.